What's poppin', y'all? Plaque Boy Max disappearing. Plaque Boy Max became such a mainstream fixture in streaming that him disappearing for just less than not even disappearing, him just being absent from streaming for what has been a month now just got everybody going in a frenzy. So much so that even Dante reacted to it. We're going to play the clip in a moment. But first, I want to cover Plaque Boy Max. He was doing a 365 days thing starting the beginning of this year. So he was trying to stream 365 days. I think he was trying to do a vlog every single day too, which is a monumental challenge and goal to do. Like, looking back at it, I don't know how Roman Atwood and Casey Neistat were vlogging every single day and uploading every single day, and I think they did it for 2 years straight. So that just goes to show you, like, guys like that, they're built way different. Like Plaque Boy Max, you know, he had a team at this point, and he was streaming. But, you know, streaming and vlogging and editing, especially Casey Neistat, is completely different. But I'm not going to go down that tangent. So with Plaque Boy Max, he took a month off, and people were like, yo, this is really serious because you committed to a year-long streaming thing. The majority of his audience, all of his audience, is based on him streaming and being a content creator. And now he's just gone. Nobody knows when he's going to come back. In the midst of him being gone, a song with Fred again and Skepta drops, and he gets credit from none other than Anthony Fantano on this track. So I'm going to play you guys that clip right now.
Also, shout out to Fred again, Skepta, and Plaque Boy Max for this new single over here, Victory Lap. What a banger. What a banger, man. I mean, we know Fred again is capable of making hard-hitting cuts like this. We know Skepta to this day is a great rapper. But Plaque Boy Max really, you know, shout out to him because he's making some impressive connections and, you know, actually putting out here and there some good creative output when he actually does nail down a good quality collaboration with an artist, with a collaborator, you know, really kind of like making that super successful and, you know, valid transition. I wouldn't say transition, but like, you know, being able to keep one foot in the streaming world while simultaneously, you know, kind of growing his footprint in the music world in a legitimate sense, and putting out some good material in the process with some, you know, very seasoned veterans.
Regardless of what you think about his music opinions, this is a good look. He got a good look on this track. This track is getting pushed by Fred again. Fred again is a huge producer too. Very talented guy. I just heard about him. Like, I remember some chick telling me like, yo, Fred again's my favorite guy. I was like, what the hell is a Fred again? I don't know if this was 1.5 years ago or 2 years ago. I didn't even know what that was. But I checked him out after that, after like 6 months, because I usually ignore the first mention of it. And I was like, okay, this guy's cold with it. But with Plaque Boy Max, they got a song together, and it's like a UK artist too. So that drops in the midst of it, and people start thinking like, yo, did Plaque Boy Max quit streaming to become a full-time artist? Because this is at the same time he signed with Capitol. Quavo had leaked that initially before they announced it, and he signed with, I think it was Field Trip, Zach Bia's record label, which is the same place where Yeet is at. And I think Zach Bia was managing him for at least the past year on, I don't know if it's like just the streaming stuff or the music stuff, but he was managing him. But Dante even reacted and gave his own thoughts on Plaque Boy Max's disappearance and his music career. So I'm going to play you guys that clip right now.
Like, I feel like streaming, which he was already good at, or it was like already on top of, to try to cut, I don't know if he's cutting it off completely and just trying to do music and then just like, you know, be in the dark and then drop and then go back in the dark like these other artists be doing. I don't know, bro. I don't know. I'm not saying he can't do it, but I'm just like, bro, like, I feel like niggas gonna miss like that personality. Like, I don't know if his personality's gonna change because of the, you know, the music image now. Like, you know, he don't want to be seen as that goofy ass dude on stream. He wants to be seen as an actual artist. Because if you make music and you still stream or you do YouTube, you're not gonna be just looked at as an artist. You're gonna look at like a streamer who does music and shit like that. So it's hard to escape that, which I can see why he would probably just try to strictly do music. But
I think Dante's got a great point here, and Dante's a perfect example of this because Dante's somebody that shifted. Like, he was initially a YouTuber, a reaction YouTuber, and he went to Twitch very, very early. And he kept doing both, but transitioning from a YouTuber to a streamer, I think Dante, am I tripping, or did Dante release a couple of songs? But he had always been a content creator at heart and more a streamer than anything else. It's clear that that was something he was very, very passionate about. Yes, he did drop some music back in the day. I remember that Sab song. So he got 4 million streams on a song. That's not a joke. But like 2019, I'm Dante. That guy was, sheesh, you couldn't play with that guy's numbers back then. And he pivoted at the right time. But he's given a good take here, which is Plaque Boy Max. To be fair, Plaque Boy Max is not quitting streaming. Like the level of pay cut that Plaque Boy Max would have to take to quit streaming is, you're telling me the guy's gonna lose 95% of his income. I'm 95% pay cut, not lose 95% of his income. Streaming is just too lucrative for Plaque Boy Max, not lucrative in general for Plaque Boy Max for him to stop. And it's such a good feeder into his music. And the majority of his fans are like, yo, we mess with your music, but we mess with you first because of the connection we have with you, which is due to your streaming. So if you abandon us and then just to do music, it's like, yo, we're not really tripping off of your music like that. And an example of somebody that tried to do this and failed is DDG. So DDG tried to go like fall back and just do the music stuff, and it didn't really work too well. And he noticed that the medium was, he had to do content creation and music at the same time. And this isn't even DDG doing Twitch. This is when DDG was doing YouTube vlogs. It was like a couple of years ago, maybe 3-4 years ago. So he went back to doing the vlogs, and he realized that his music numbers were the highest when he was doing that, and that his core fans didn't really care, and that the people that he was trying to impress had already written him off, that no matter what he did, they weren't going to convert, or the only thing that he really could do to convert them was to drop hits, or like hit songs, which he dropped 1. I guess you could say 2. Maybe I'm Geeking is considered a hit. People talk about that a lot. With Plaque Boy Max, he is so much bigger than DDG right now, and I will put my hand on it. I am betting that Plaque Boy Max will be back before September. I would think he might be back before August. And the reason for me saying that is summer vacation. Why do you think AMP just decided to do a 30-day marathon on July 1st? It's because their whole audience is home for the summer. They're just going to be sitting down, watching all day, all night, interacting, building up the community. So Plaque Boy Max is not going to miss out on a gigantic bag in July. Now, if he disappears after that, hey, that's a different story. But I see him coming back at least in August, I would say. There's no way he stays gone until September. Whose bar is that? Gone until November came? I think it was Drake. Yeah, that's just how you know Drake is him, dog. Like random Drake bars or melodies just come to your head. And you're like, oh, no, that's you, not me. No, it's you two. Don't lie. Please. Let's just be honest with each other. It's just between me and you, okay? It's really just between you and you. So for Plaque Boy Max, this dude's going to come back. He is not going to make it as a rapper without streaming. That's it. And like I said, I think Plaque Boy Max's skill is not in rap. Because think about all of the other artists that are up-and-coming rappers right now that Plaque Boy Max has to compete with. Can he even compete with them? No, he can't. The only edge that he has, and that's not to say Plaque Boy Max is terrible or bad, he's just subpar. And the only edge that he has to compete with them is the marketing front. Like, if they're sending you artists anyway, you might as well. It's clear that it's not clear that you convert them into listeners, but it's clear that they see a value in the audience that you have. And I think it's senseless to just quit. But I do think he's making them miss you. That's a different story. So I think Plaque Boy Max is playing the mysterious game when it comes to streaming instead of music, and he has the streaming audience, his audience, like they're building a closer bond, but they're missing him more and more and more now that he's gone. So when he comes back, they're going to appreciate him a ton. They're going to catch up. He's going to give them some content. He's probably been working on music this entire time. But I've always said this, Plaque Boy Max is best served being not an A&R, but like an executive producer, a curator. Think of a DJ Khaled type, or a Ye, or not a Ye in terms of, because Ye's a producer and a rapper, but maybe like a Rick Rubin. But Rick Rubin didn't really release stuff. DJ Khaled's the only one that I can think of that released stuff and wasn't actually doing production on it, although he did have a background as a producer and a DJ. But yeah, that role Plaque Boy Max could have a completely new lane that he dominates due to that. And there's no one to compete with him there. And he could rap and drop a verse here and there, but it shouldn't be like the mainstay fixture of that. And he did do that in his Atlanta EP that he dropped before this solo project. Now, hopefully Zach Bia isn't gassing him. Like, listen, Zach Bia, he knows what he's doing. Although, like, one of the artists, wasn't SSG Kobe signed to Zach Bia? What happened to that guy? That guy should have just kept pushing through whatever accusations he had. Because you got 9 Vicious just coming on there and saying, yeah, y'all, I was tripping, and just kept dropping and nobody cared. SSG Kobe tried to fall back. He tried to do an apology. He tried to do an okie doke, a square dance, and yeah, we don't even know what's going on with him anymore. So with Plaque Boy Max, like, yeah, hopefully Zach Bia doesn't tell him to focus on music, because I think Zach Bia is a lot smarter than that. Like, that guy's kind of a DJ. He knows influence and being tapped into the kids is it, and that's why he linked up with Plaque Boy Max. So he's not going to tell the guy to just fall back and start rapping. When rapping is, not only is it significantly less profitable, you have a lot less influence over narratives in the younger generation, which pushes trends, than you do as a sole rapper. But let me know what y'all think in the comments. Am I tripping? Do you think Plaque Boy Max will take longer to come back, or what? Like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell if you enjoyed, and I'll see y'all in the next one.